Star Trek just remade one of Voyager's best episodes, and it's absolutely hilarious. Star Trek has never shied away from self-referencing, but the franchise's latest episode takes it to a whole new level, remaking one of Voyager's best episodes in a way that is as side-splitting as it is clever. While Voyager was often known for its heavy science fiction concepts and emotional stakes, the latest iteration of Star Trek, Lower Decks, gleefully flips one of its most iconic plots on its head, and the result is absolutely hilarious. The episode in question, Voyager's Tinker, Tenor, Doctor, Spy, where the emergency medical hologram EM8, played brilliantly by Robert Picardo, begins daydreaming elaborate fantasies about himself as the ship's heroic, romantic savior. It's an episode that was equal parts funny, insightful, and surprisingly poignant. Now, in what feels like both a tribute and a parody, Lower Deck Season 5 delivers its own version, with Ensign Rutherford at the center, and the comedy is turned up to warp 9. A familiar premise with a modern twist, in Lower Decks' newest episode, aptly titled Tinker, Techie, Spy, Ensign Sam Rutherford finds himself in the middle of a diagnostic subroutine that accidentally starts amplifying his subconscious thoughts, projecting them into full-on, interactive holodeck scenarios. Sound familiar? It should. But while the EMH's delusions in Voyager were rooted in repressed ambition and unacknowledged self-worth, Rutherford's fantasies are purely chaotic, often involving absurd engineering heroics, dance-offs with warp cores, and steamy romance plots with the Cerritos' EPS conduits. The writers clearly know what they're doing. From the opening beat, they treat longtime Voyager fans to visual and thematic callbacks, including a near shot-for-shot recreation of the original Emergency Command hologram moment. Only this time, Rutherford becomes the emergency repair hero, wearing a cape made out of isolinear chips and giving rousing speeches to warp nacelles. Parody with purpose. Where Voyager's episode balanced humor with emotional development for the Doctor, Lower Decks goes fully comedic while still managing a surprising character arc for Rutherford. His fantasies aren't just laugh-out-loud ridiculous, they're revealing. In his subconscious, he's not just a background tech guy. He's a savior, a genius, and someone who gets the respect he quietly craves but never outwardly demands. And just like in Voyager, things escalate when an alien species taps into Rutherford's hallucinations, assuming his delusions are factual. This leads to the alien faction believing Rutherford is some sort of legendary super-engineer warrior with dominion over Starfleet's energy gods. The aliens kidnap him to negotiate a truce, only to find him very confused and extremely underdressed. He's still in one of his fantasy togas. It's this perfect storm of mistaken identity, unfiltered imagination, and high-concept sci-fi that makes the episode such a standout. It's not just a funny tribute, it's a well-executed remix. Cameos and Easter eggs galore. This wouldn't be Lower Decks without meta-references and deep cuts. Fans of Voyager will catch nods to everything from the Captain Proton holodeck adventures to the Doctor's opera performances. There's even a surprise appearance. Robert Picardo lends his voice for a brief cameo as a projection of the EMH inside Rutherford's malfunctioning fantasy matrix. He pops up long enough to declare, "Please state the nature of your engineering emergency," before getting blasted into a pile of bolts by Rutherford's imaginary upgrade drones. Even the music gets in on the joke. Composer Chris Westlake weaves in motifs from Jay Chataway's original Tinker, Tenor, Doctor, Spy, score and warp, techno-infused renditions. It's subtle, but for those who recognize it, it's an extra cherry on top of the Starfleet sundae. Why it works so well. What makes this episode more than just fan service is how organically it fits into Lower Decks' tone. This isn't the first time the show has parodied or mirrored classic Trek, but this instance feels especially loving. There's an understanding here that Voyager's original episode wasn't just memorable because it was funny, it resonated because it peeled back layers of a character we thought we understood. Lower Decks replicates that emotional undercurrent amid the gags and absurdity. By the end, Rutherford comes to terms with some of his own buried insecurities, and even has a touching moment with Tendi where he admits that maybe he does want to be noticed more. It's not overwrought, and the show never loses its